Hello there, fellow Disney Plus watchers. Hello there. I am introducing this video of the finale of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Because why not?
Because why not?
But I am the master. You are but the learner.
I'm
you
the
do
Padawan,
remember that.
Qui-Gon.
You are the Padawan, my kind sir. Okay, so the finale. I'm so glad we're doing this together because there's a lot to say about the finale of Obi-Wan Kenobi. That starts out with the gang escaping. Obi-Wan and the rebels, Roken and all
Roken!
the crew escaping, and this video is gonna have spoilers, of course.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yes.
Okay.
Spoiler alert.
We're gonna talk about the good, we're gonna talk about the bad, and the Star Wars.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the structure we're gonna pick here. So, quick recap.
Oh yeah.
The Star Destroyer is chasing them. They don't know what to do. Obi-Wan decides, okay, this is all about me. Vader wants to get to me, so he runs off to another planet. The whole Star Destroyer. We'll get back to that. Yeah. But the whole Star Destroyer turns around and goes after Obi-Wan. Vader and Obi-Wan have a fight, and in the meantime, Luke is in jeopardy because Reva has a villainous plan to go after him. Yeah. So that's the context we're talking about here.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
So what did you think was one of the good or great things about this one?
The thing I enjoyed the most, of course, is the big fight between Obi-Wan and Vader.
Okay, yeah.
And we'll probably get to that.
Well, let's get to it now.
Yeah, let's get to it now, yeah.
That's my first note, too.
Okay, yeah, well, the fight.
The combat itself,
cool,
by the way.
Awesome.
That was so reminiscent of that particular flashback, not only their fighting style in the prequels, which it was also, but...
Obi-Wan's defense and Anakin's or Vader's attack, And
the way they standed there with their backs to each other, that was truly awesome that we really recognized that specific flashback and that training of them together. So that was so good. Yeah,
it felt great to see Obi-Wan being Obi-Wan again. He's his biggest self. He's the strongest. He was weak this show. He's now on the level. He might be better than Darth Vader, and he was.
Yeah,
and he beat the shit out of him.
I guess that's what the line in the original movie now refers to.
Yeah.
I was but the learner, now I am the master.
The master.
And that's why, that's just something I'm wondering, not something that's particularly good or bad, but that's why I thought the first half of that fight ended with him calling him master.
Yeah.
So I was like, I see what you did there. This is where you're gonna end the show between those two, so that you have the A New Hope makes sense. But they didn't go that route.
Because you would think that Darth Vader buried Obi-Wan, so he might be dead, and Darth Vader doesn't have to worry about him anymore. So that's why he isn't looking for him. In A New Hope.
That's exactly the setup everyone was expecting the show to end on.
Yeah. But he was back, he
So isn't that kind of weird, by the way, that they had another half of the fight take place after the moment that very clearly communicated, master, you're still the master, and if Vader thinks
it was the most logical way. And I'm gonna tip in a little into the bad thing, because Vader was really like, oh, I'm gonna search for Obi-Wan. I'm gonna kill everyone to find him. And the Emperor, who appears, by the way, is like, you don't have to. Your anger clouds you or whatever. And Darth Vader's like, okay, I won't go after him. Okay, whatever. And so it's way less cooler than I've buried my master. I won again.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings about it. But let's get. I'll come back to it in
the bad.
But I don't know. I'm not sure if it's bad. But I'll get back to that. Yeah, what I also loved was the half of the mask, missing at some point, and him looking in the eyes of Anakin. And specifically, what's brilliant is the voice.
Yeah, I love that as well.
Voice changes between Vader and Anakin.
Constantly.
To have that so married together is so satisfying.
And seeing that the anger of Anakin and the creepy orange eye, and it's not Anakin anymore. He's really gone, and you see it I was on the edge of being emotional because of Obi-Wan's face, because he's full of regret when he sees him. And I was like, I'm sorry, Anakin.
That was one of the best moments in the show by far, and the best moment of the episode. Period.
Yeah,
that's
the
just
good.
Very simple.
Yeah, I like the epilogue when it ended. It had like a lot of small scenes. It almost felt like an original movie. And you have like in A New Hope, you have like the gang is getting the medal and blah blah blah. Yeah, and I like.
Yeah, I appreciated that too. You know, it felt a bit like if you want to associate it with that Return of the King of the Lord of the Rings to have multiple endings.
Yeah,
it's a bit extreme of an example, but
yeah,
to have I don't know, it fits. Yeah. And what I really liked is once again Obi-Wan and Leia, they wrap up really nicely. I do understand the criticism that, you know, Leia contacts Obi-Wan in the original trilogy, and he's just a guy she should talk to, and you served my father in the Clone Wars. But I don't know, she's just a kid. I can appreciate it. I don't.
Yeah, she might have forgotten him or whatever.
It worked very well for the series, so and maybe there was a hint like Obi-Wan is talking about if we're ever going to contact each other, we do have to be careful. Yeah. So maybe that was secretly the context for having it make sense a little bit.
Yeah.
It doesn't fully come together, maybe, but
they knew what they were doing.
Yeah. So I guess that's appreciated.
And I've written callbacks, but maybe that's more of the Star Wars thing. That's with good. I have Jimmy Smith's Bill Organa. I don't know. I just always think he's really likable.
He's charismatic, and he was
him
at the ending. Yeah, and I don't have much more good things to say about this one. And really, it's pretty mediocre, and it
was cool.
It bums me out. This show bums me out. So let's go to the bad.
The bad. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Okay. Well, I know we both were like sighing constantly because some shots were ugly.
Oh my god.
As hell, man.
There was a shot when Reva was going after Luke, and they rendered with their disc full or something.
Yeah,
that shot was rendered when the computer was.
When all the multi-million-dollar computers at Disney Studios were full.
And just the frame.
Shit, our SD card is full.
And it scores muddy. I don't know the color correction. It seems like they accidentally shot some stuff, especially on Tatooine at night, and they weren't really happy with it. So they put in some green and put in some blue, and they tried to make it work in terms of color, and it was really ugly to me.
It happened a couple of times on Tatooine. I didn't know if it was your Wi-Fi or it was really just the FPS being slow, because
there's no Wi-Fi. I have a cable.
Okay, then it's probably their fault. Because when I guess when Beru and Owen were some scenes with them, the FPS felt like slow. And there was this one shot when after Obi-Wan is buried in the rocks, they are looking for him. It's like they say, "Hey intern, do you want to shoot a scene?" And he's almost tripping over the rocks. I've almost got an angle, sir. I almost got an angle. And he was like,
and because it's
so shaky.
So much of those kind of stuff. It's like they did intend it. Was the intention there or not? I can't really put my head around it. Why it looks so fan made? Why it looks so terrible?
And it's kind of her Deborah Chow, her style, I guess, because that shaky cam is a prominent role in the whole show.
But it isn't a shaky cam that's connected to anything. That's connected to a character climbing or a character running or it's random movements of the camera that take you out completely.
Yeah, you had like this shot where Obi-Wan and Vader are, seeing each other, and you have this moon in the middle, and this shot would be great if it was just standing still, but the camera was slowly going to the left. I was thinking, this might be art if you just let the camera stand a while.
It was an interesting planet, by the way. We didn't mention it, but it was a cool looking planet in and of itself.
Yeah.
And what also didn't really work for me was... are we done about the technical stuff? Because I want to get into the story.
Yes.
I think that's more fun to talk about. Under Obi-Wan under the rocks, when he was delved, when Vader beat him,
he was buried alive.
It's so mediocre. It's not terrible, but it's so mediocre to me. that he just had flashes of Leia in his head and he's doing it for her. And it felt like it was kind of the low point of the hero's journey, but without connection to what's really at stake. I don't know. It felt really hollow.
Yeah.
That he did he have to have a moment where he heroically, I don't know, a little bit later he lifts 20,000 rocks in the air, and which I also thought
Thinking
was
about a child.
and just a little bit too much. But when he was kind of throwing rocks at Vader, so we see him powerful already. He had that first half of the fight where he was really powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is this supposed to be that low point hero moment where he's I'm under the rubble and I'm thinking about why I fight my fight, why I'm doing this exactly, and he sees Leia in front of him and he thinks, this is why I'm in the fight, and that just doesn't work for me. It feels hollow. It just doesn't work.
Last time he was on the high ground, and now he was under the ground.
But
and he's just thinking about a child, and it gives him strength.
Yeah, but
Leia.
Why have a very cliche moment of the hero, the hero trapped in rubble? That's very cliche. Why have that cliche moment if it's hollow for the story and doesn't add?
Yeah, because
to anything.
I thought it was fucked up that Vader just buried him alive. That's kind of a Vader move to do, I guess. But
yeah, that's true.
That was cool. But yeah, I get your point.
It's cool.
And yeah, let's talk about Reva for a while. Last episode, she was left for dead because she was stabbed.
Yeah, like Boba. Left for dead on the sands of Tatooine. Oh no, it wasn't on Tatooine. Sorry.
No, this I didn't know what planet was it. Well, whatever.
Jabim.
And well, Reva is dying, and there are no ships around. Vader is gone. Grand Inquisitor is gone. All the stormtroopers are gone. Obi-Wan is gone. The extra ship was destroyed by Vader, and she's quicker on Tatooine than Obi-Wan is where he wants to be. She's fully okay. I'm recovered. I'm looking for Owen.
But that's also, I get it. But what you're suggesting is we want to see how she gets there and how she's there faster. But on the other hand, I totally get it. I'm not interested in that.
No, I'm also not interested. But it's like it's so quick. Why don't and her
because
her plot in this episode is like not interesting.
No, but they're leaving out something that's not interesting to see. I think.
No,
but I get what you mean. I totally get what you mean.
And her whole...
That's the thing with timelines running into each other.
Yeah, it has to happen for the show to have a, but whatever. Her arc in this episode, man, she's like, okay, I'm gonna kill Luke, so I might be okay with Vader again, so he can...
Yeah, that's kind of a fake out to me. Because she has her redemption in the last one, kind of.
Exactly, and why would Vader trust her again?
It's so confusing that she changes her goal so late in the story. We find out last episode, her goal is now to get to Vader and kill Vader. Now that didn't work. Now what is her goal? How is that? Does she want to lure Vader to Tatooine? How?
Maybe.
Does that work when she just goes there as a lonely rogue character? It doesn't rhyme with anything. I don't know.
It sucked. Blue milk. And yeah, it was cool. I like Owen and I like Beru, and I think they're cast great because they look a little bit like their characters in A New Hope. I just wanted to see more of Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader instead of Reva versus Owen with his, his metal bar.
I was also very underwhelmed how quickly and unceremoniously, no, it's not the quick part, it's the unceremonious part, how soon and random just Vader and Obi-Wan started fighting. That was so hollow to me. The first half of that fight, I was so underwhelmed. I thought, no, is this the rematch of the century? I almost feel nothing. Like, how am I almost feeling nothing when I see Vader and Obi-Wan fight? And then the second half was incredible.
Yeah, that was incredible.
Because after his false hero moment, he has his true hero moment where he's faced with what he did.
He's throwing rocks, and he's like...
seeing Anakin...
Hey, Anakin, catch!
Just father and son playing ball. Like that kind of energy. Any more bad stuff?
Yeah, more like things like... I didn't know it was... I have written here, Obi-Wan meeting Luke. I was like, meh, why?
It was kind of... The hello there was... I don't know. Was
okay for the fans.
I chuckled and I don't know. It's not...
And then we...
oh yeah, by the way. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I've written here the Darth and Sidious moment. Darth Vader was angry from, I have to kill...
that too.
And Sidious is like, no, you don't have to be angry. Your anger is clouding your vision. And Darth Vader's like, okay, well, I won't anymore.
Yeah.
Whatever. Okay, master.
And what I thought was clever about it, still, this is kind of a good thing. We don't hear the Imperial March through the whole show. I saw some people critiquing that, but we hear it for the first time when he's really becoming Darth Vader. This is actually, he becomes Darth Vader in that scene. Because first he's a ruthless hunter. He wants to hunt Obi-Wan. And then the Emperor needs something else of him to be the stoic leader that can oversee an empire.
Yeah.
And that is why maybe they could have gone into it a little bit more, but I got it. I got what they were going for. And when I heard the Imperial March, I totally got what they were going for. Because now we hear and see the difference between what it's like to be Vader the hunter and Darth Vader the head
leader.
of the leader of the empire. So for me it was an aha moment, and the more I think about it, that moment gets better. But I get it if it doesn't work for you. I do understand where you're coming from.
It was fine.
No, but it's fine to disagree on this.
Yeah. I understand the music made it like it makes sense
yeah.
now. It makes sense now. You're telling me this, but
it's not a factual thing. It's interpretation, right?
Nice. Yes.
Okay, and another thing that was the good and bad are kind of interchangeable now. What was really bad for me was Liam Neeson's.
No.
Sorry.
No.
Sorry. It was the placement of it, the moment in time it happened. It was like I was there all along, and I know you needed me, but I get what they were going for. Like Obi-Wan can make this journey on his own. We don't want him to have that mentor character the whole way through the show that's distracting and maybe a little bit demeaning for his character. I don't know. But to have him at the very last scene saying, yeah, you did a good job. Weren't we joking about that one time? Like, what if Liam Neeson comes back and just says, "You good job."
Good job, kid.
And that's it. And that's what they did. They just have him there to say good job.
I was just glad he was there, you know. He was,
okay,
he was turning around and hello, Obi-Wan. I was on this planet a long time. Yeah, okay, I get your point, but it was just cool to see him. There you are. That took a long time. I was taking a shit in a couple of last movies. But
that's what the writers were thinking. It's cool. They are going to think it's cool to see him, and now that we've seen the whole show, I'm not satisfied with just that mindset. For a lot of threats in the show, that was the mindset. They're gonna be cool with seeing this character and hearing hello there. Look, everybody, Obi-Wan said hello there to Luke, and I just
look, it's that guy from Taken. But I was hoping he would appear every moment in the episode. Because there were a lot of moments where he could appear. Like, that made more sense, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe the part where Obi-Wan is sitting in the cargo bay or whatever. He's alone. Maybe a hand on his shoulder. Hello.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Or just a moment where he feels like I have to do this and that. And Qui-Gon is putting his hand on his shoulder and saying, well, kid, blah, 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 mentor talk.
Yeah.
And then he disappears again. Or maybe after the scene with Sidious, or before the scene with Sidious, and you have like master and apprentice both.
Like a juxtaposition of this is what Vader is doing.
This is what Qui-Gon is doing.
Yeah, they could have made this more interesting.
And now he's just standing there in the desert. Hey, you remember that we've flown a pod racer here? Remember that I blah blah blah. But yeah.
Yeah, why not have the mentor character pop up in the worst possible moment for the hero, for Obi-Wan? Why not have it at a very inconvenient time or a very dire...
Buried under the rocks, I see.
Yeah, a very dire place. I don't know.
Haven't I trained you better than this?
I think... Do we have some comments on the Star Wars of it all?
Obi-Wan Kenobi! Yeah, I saw a couple of callbacks.
Okay, let's go.
The Star Destroyer chasing the ship.
Yeah.
A really New Hope moment.
Yeah.
Because it was like almost the same shot, like the Star Destroyer getting into the shot, you know?
Yeah.
You have this moment where Obi-Wan is leaning against a pole. In Revenge of the Sith, he's also leaning in the same way. Almost the same way.
Cool.
And of course, the hello there.
Yeah.
Hello there, little child.
Which made me chuckle, but not much more.
No.
But it's cool.
So there were probably more callbacks.
Yeah, and it looked really... The Star Destroyer looked really good.
Yes.
And the episode sounded really great. The lightsabers sounded really great. I don't have much... Let's not go into that all that much because there's not much to say.
Cool
Any more
episode.
things? No, I'm very disappointed with this show ultimately.
Do you think there will be a season 2?
I think so.
Do you want it?
No, because that means another show is not going to get made. Obi-Wan season 2 instead of another.
There is another.
There's nothing of story to tell right now, so you have to be very, very creative with it.
A Jimmy Smith's Bill Organa office sitcom, yes.
But really, I just want to see fresh shows. I want to see Andor. I want to see The Acolyte. I don't want to see Obi-Wan Kenobi season 2. Like, move forward, please, move forward. This was a slip up to me. A few great, amazing moments with a lot of fluff and a lot of terrible camera work and terrible color correction and terrible lighting. And now it's up to you to decide what did you think about Obi-Wan overall and this episode, of course. We're starting to think about wrapping this up. If you like a discussion like this, sure, give it a like. That really helps the channel and the video. Thank you so much. Of course, we're gonna watch Ms. Marvel today. I'll be sure to be back for that. For now, have a wonderful day.
Goodbye, and may the Force be with you.
Yeah, may the Force be with you. See ya.